What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you tips, tricks, and loadout suggestions for solo flawlessing the Shattered Throne dungeon. Shattered Throne is the featured dungeon this week, and it has truly never been easier to beat by yourself. I wanted to make this guide because Season of the Wish is the longest season we've ever had, and the artifact is perfect for easily solo flawlessing any dungeon. We have Solo Operative, which is a flat 15% buff to all your damage, and on top of that we have Revitalizing Blast to give you a 15% weaken debuff on any boss, and becoming Radiant is easier than ever this season with the Flint Striker artifact mod. So you can easily deal an additional 25% weapon damage thanks to Radiant. Combine all these together and it has literally never been easier to solo flawless a dungeon. My solo flawless run on my Hunter is up on my channel now if you want to see a full run through and how I do things. But in this video, I will give you advice for every encounter on every character, as I beat the dungeon on every character. So I'll give the top loadout suggestions for each class. I will not be going over mechanics in depth, as I assume if you're attempting a solo flawless, you know the mechanics at least. But I do give advice on how to do them quickly and efficiently. And lastly, all loadouts will be solar because it is easily the best thing to use this season. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first encounter is basically just a bunch of ad clear with a little mini boss at each symbol. There are 7 symbols in total that you have to clear, and they spawn in random orders. On screen now is a map to help you find your way. For this encounter, you just want something with good ad clear. I used Bad Juju and Celestial Nighthawk to have a super for pretty much every mini boss, but I also used Ophidia Spathe. In any case, you want Restoration Grenades with Ember of Empyrean to extend your resto. This will help you survive all the ads. And then a solar weapon for extending restoration. Though Risk Runner is also great here for survivability and ad clear, and Forbearance with Chain Reaction is very good if you have it. On Titan, I use Bonk Titan to punch my way through everything, and then the Lament for the mini bosses. And on Warlock, I use Sunbracers with Heat Rises and Phoenix Dive to kill everything and have Resto ×2 while I do it. So the first part is pretty straightforward. Then from there you have a long traversal with some jumps that might kill you. I recommend a scout rifle or a bow for the long hallway. Wishender is especially effective here for taking out the ads quickly and easily. And then you have the ogre section with the skinny beams. This is probably the second most dangerous part of the whole dungeon. You don't want to fall off, and the ogres will beam you off with their I-beam shots. So just take them out from afar with any long range weapon. Again, Wishender is the king here. They are quite weak. And make sure you don't stand where the taken orbs spawn, or they could knock you off to your death. Once you are through here, you have the Thrallway. This used to be challenging because you couldn't regen your health here, but now with Restoration, it's a joke. Then right before the final boss, you have a bunch of taken phalanxes. I recommend killing them so they don't boop you to your death. Then for the first boss, having a good ad clear setup is far more important than a DPS setup. This boss pretty much just falls over, so you want something that will be able to take out the wizards quickly and easily. But once you pick up the first petitioner's mark, you only have 45 seconds to get the others or you'll wipe. So once you kill all 4 wizards, you're able to dunk the petitioner's mark, and then when you go to do DPS, pretty much whatever weapons you want to use can one-phase this guy. Just watch out for the little taken orbs he shoots, as they do still kinda hurt. Dragon's Breath and Vorpal Cartesian wrecked this guy obviously, as did Celestial Nighthawk, and so did the Lament. Pretty much anything works on him. From the Ogre boss, you have to ascend to fight dull Incaru. Just take out adds as you go. One big tip for this dungeon is whatever weapons you want to use for the boss fight, make sure you swap to them early because there are no rally flags. And then if you do need ammo, you can hopefully farm some as you make your way to the top. The biggest threat of the dungeon is the boop wall, so just watch out for that. Just be careful here and you'll be fine. Just get used to knowing what it looks like when they're about to pop, and you'll be good. For the boss fight, much like the ogres, getting to damage is harder than doing DPS. So you want something that is good for taking out the 3 knights at the same time. I used Apotheosis Veil on Warlock to spam them with grenades after casting my well, and they died easily. On Hunter, I used Anarchy and stuck them all so that they all died relatively at the same time. And Titan, I screwed up by killing one early, so I just popped super on the other 2. It is better to use your super on the knights, honestly. This gets them down quickly, and then you can also use your super for the Taken Scions because they will multiply if you don't deal with them quickly. So just focus on clearing the battlefield before picking up the finite thought buffs. You need all 3 to do max damage, but the DPS window starts once you pick up the first one. This is why you want them all to die relatively around the same time. Once you do DPS, again, basically anything will knock dull Incaru over. In my opinion, this is probably the easiest dungeon to solo flawless, but it is a great introduction to doing solo content. So I hope this guide helped. It is truly the easiest season to ever solo flawless a dungeon. I highly recommend doing a practice run first so you can get used to the encounters and work out the strats that you want to use. I also recommend using the preset loadout options you have available to you, as this will help you optimize your damage. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful and informative, and if it was, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. I'm doing guides on all the dungeons so that you can get the solo flawless emblems before final shape. So keep an eye out for those. Lastly, if you're still watching, then thanks for watching to the end. I appreciate it. Good luck solo flawlessing Shattered Throne, and take care.